I would say that at the end of April through mid-May, the racing product the NASCAR Cup Series offered to the fan base was very hard to watch. We saw some pretty bad races go on then, and I believe this past weekend out at the Echo Park Speedway, also known as the Atlanta Motor Speedway, we were all in for a treat. We saw a phenomenal race. Yes, we see the weather kind of hindered things early on, but we saw a big 20-plus car pileup. We saw Chase Elliott winning at his home track. It was just a great weekend down in Hampton, Georgia for the NASCAR Cup Series. But now all the attention turns to Chicago, and it's a very big weekend for NASCAR in Chicago because this is the last year in their contract here. And next year they may very well go back to Chicagoland, or they may move this race to another city around the country. San Diego. That is the worst rumor right now, that they'll be going to San Diego next year. But time will tell there. But today I'm here to give y'all my full-on picks for the NASCAR Cup Series race in Chicago. Hopefully you enjoy it, and on to the intro we go.
Hey, Ryan Blaney here, and you're watching William Blackman on YouTube.
In my own opinion, Shane Van Gisbergen and Trackhouse Racing will approach this race in Chicago much differently than probably what they would have about a month ago. I think a month ago the team would have been points racing and trying their damnedest to get the most points they can in a race, but now with a win, right beside again Van Gisbergen in the win column, he doesn't have to worry about points. He's already in the playoffs. I think now he's just going to go for the checker flag and win these races. And saying that, I think there's going to be a heap of drivers staying out for points, but then again, there's really 4 spots remaining in the playoffs, and that's when we'll have the conversation on if you're the lowest in points with a win, you may be the odd man out. And I think there's a realistic possibility that we see more than 16 race winners this year, but will it be before or after the playoffs? I think it could very well happen before. You got Daytona, you got Chicago, you got Indianapolis, you got a lot of toss-up tracks coming up, and something's going to happen. Tyler Reddick is winless this year. Kyle Busch is winless. Someone is going to mess up this whole playoff scheme, and it's going to happen at some point. But Van Gisbergen needs to be safe rather than sorry, and he will win his second race this year in Chicago, and will officially mark himself into the 2025 playoffs. Yes, he won Mexico City a couple of weeks ago by 17 seconds. That right there, he's still lowest in points, but 2 wins is going to solidify it as a playoff team in a car. Van Gisbergen won in 17 seconds. This weekend, I'll say 20. I'm sarcastic. He's going to be very quick. Nobody's going to be on his pace, in my opinion, especially if it's dry. Just give me Van Gisbergen. Second place, Alex the Showman Bowman. He probably won the Teammate of the Year award this past weekend out at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. The last lap, he had a chance to form a run on the 9 car going into turns 3 and 4, but he ultimately bailed because he saw the 6 car coming and he wanted to disrupt that run, and he gave Chase Elliott, his teammate, the easy path to victory lane. And in my opinion, Alex Bowman won the Teammate of the Year. But he's coming to a track now where he won a year ago in Chicago. He needs a win right now. I don't think it's going to happen this weekend because last year he won it without Van Gisbergen chasing him because Van Gisbergen was collected in a wreck early on, thanks to Chase Briscoe. But Alex Bowman, he needs a win. It's not going to happen this weekend, but he has some pretty good tracks coming up. Already behind him, you're going to have Tyler Reddick in the 45 car. Tyler Reddick was chasing down Alex Bowman at the end of last year's race in Chicago, and I think that Reddick will be a contender down the line these next couple of races. But this week in Chicago, I just don't think no one's going to touch Van Gisbergen. I could very well be wrong here. I just don't see nobody getting close to him. But Reddick P3, P4, Kyle Busch. He's driving the Slurpee car this weekend for 7-Eleven. He's going to have a good outing, I think. A top 5. Yes, it's not a win, but a top 5 will change the complexity of this 8-team heading into the playoffs. I think they're going to have some pretty good tracks for Kyle Busch coming up. And if they can get some momentum built up right now, they're going to win a race. Just look at Chase Briscoe in the 19 car. I would say from Charlotte, that pole, and going into Nashville and getting a pole, the momentum carries over. It really does. And we saw Briscoe winning in Pocono. Kyle Busch I think, is going to get on the right path here and do very well suddenly, and he'll sneak a win out at some point. I just don't see it being Chicago. P5, Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson is very toss-up every single weekend, it seems like, in the NASCAR Cup Series. One week he's going to be on top of the world. The other week he's going to be looking like David Starr in yesterday's race in Atlanta. I'm filming this on a Sunday, where he just spun out on his own, going 180. How you do that? That is so annoying. But there you go there. Then Gizburg wins, Bowman second, Reddick third, and Busch fourth, and Larson fifth. My dark horse, I'm not saying she's going to win it, but I think Catherine Legg could very well get a top 15, perhaps maybe even a top 10 in the 78 car for Live Fast Racing. Catherine Legg caught a lot of crap after Phoenix about her incident with Daniel Suarez, but I believe she's going to bounce back. She's a good racer. I think now she's going through a track that suits her racing qualities, road racing, and I think she's going to do very well. I think she's going to blow a lot of people away. So keep a close eye on Catherine Legg. But there you go. There's Chicago's race picks. We got some pretty fun tracks coming up, but yeah, Chicago this weekend. I cannot wait for it.